maybe this card is the future of Standard. We'll see.
Caleb Durward, the player on the right, he's the one rocking this blue-red concoction. Caleb looks nice and cleaned up. No more beard.
Yeah.
I mean, still beard, I guess, but no more long beard.
Maybe this is just his Halloween costume. Maybe he'll be going back to it. Okay, so Grim Lavamancer, turn 1.
The camera got a little off center, guys, but we'll be over there to fix it for you in a second. But yeah, turn 1 Grim Lavamancer for Caleb, playing a blue-red counterburn. And there's Greenwood Werewolves on the left. Weird archetype, really cool stuff. Turn 2, Gatstaff Shepherd.
Yeah.
If no spells are played, it will become a 3/3.
Intimidate, right?
Intimidate.
So nothing in Caleb's deck will be able to block that, though he has 4 Incinerate, 4 Brimstone Volley, Shock, Vapor Snag, so...
Well, the one thing I find weird about Erik's deck is he only has 1 Keswick Wolf run. It seems like in this deck you want to play 4, or at least 3, because you're going to have turns where you don't want to cast spells.
Exactly. You want things like that let you take advantage of that, and there it is.
Caleb shocks away the Shepherd. It's going to be really rough for Erik this matchup, I think, because his guys get killed pretty easily, and also Caleb has a lot of cheap spells to make sure they don't flip over.
Right. But if he does land one, a lot of his creatures become really scary threats, like Mare of Averbrook, Instigator Gang, Karuna Outlaw. These are cards that'll just win the game on their own, even Daybreak Ranger.
Right, exactly.
So it's going to be a classic battle of can I stick 1 creature here for Erik versus Caleb. And here we have a Phoenix.
All right.
So putting Erik on a little bit of a clock. Interesting that the Phoenix gets Brimstoned. Might have chosen the Lavamancer there. But we'll see what Erik has in store.
4. There's
Garrett. That makes sense.
And that is really the card. I think we're going to see a lot of that this weekend.
Yeah.
It's kind of been a sleeper, I think, in Innistrad. I mean, it's hard to call a mythic rare Planeswalker a sleeper, but it's doing good work. And here we see it just comes down, kills out Lavamancer, still up.
It is.
Can start making Death Touch Wolves.
Caleb's going to have to kill that pretty much right now, or else that's just going to take over the game for him.
Yeah, you have to incinerate that right here.
I'm sure it will be. Yeah, and there it is.
Incinerate. Redirect to Garrick. Do not bring back... Oh, no, you do get to bring back Chandra's Phoenix, right? As if you deal damage to a Planeswalker? Doesn't it work that way?
I think it does, actually.
I think Caleb just made a small mistake. I believe that the Chandra's Phoenix is worded so that it counts Planeswalker damage. Yeah. Red instant sorcery spell, or by a... if they're dealt damage by a Planeswalker.
Okay. So it doesn't get to bring back the Phoenix.
That's where the Planeswalker thing. So if you play Chandra and you ping them for 1, you get back your Phoenix.
Right.
That makes sense.
So here's an Instigator Gang, and that is a scary card. And Caleb only with a Mana Leak and an Incinerate, so he only has 2 more answers here.
Now he's going to kill... Gotta use burn 1 on the Instigator Gang, right?
The question is which one.
Yeah, it leaks it down.
Chooses the Mana Leak, probably the right choice there.
You don't want Erik to play 5th land, Werewolf, and have no outs.
And draws another Mana Leak, so that's fine.
And so his hand now, I think, is Incinerate, Mana Leak. Does he have a Vapor Snag in there, or just those 2 cards?
I think it's just those 2. The problem with Caleb's deck is it looks like he's going to have a hard time winning. He incinerates Erik and attacks him for 2 with his Phoenix, so Erik at 15. Or maybe a little less.
Erik casts Reckless Waif,
which
resolves, and then is that Daybreak Ranger?
It is. So Caleb has to draw a spell here. Oh, and another Mana Leak.
Nice spell.
That's an awkward one to draw.
And now he's going to flip over Reckless Waif, flip over Daybreak Ranger.
This is going to get ugly for Caleb real quick.
Oh yeah, that Daybreak Ranger is going to oomph that Chandra's Phoenix.
Yep. And Erik... trying to tell what that
don't do that.
Oh,
Erik.
no.
Oh, you're just going to get Mana Leak, and then all your werewolves are going to flip over.
No, it's actually if one player casts 2 spells.
Oh, it's if one player?
It is, yeah. So
there you go.
They will not be flipped. Unless Erik casts another spell.
I forgot about that. My first instinct was 2 spells.
Right.
That's bad, but...
So, serves for 7, brings Caleb down to 13.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tough for Caleb to win this race unless you draw some gas real soon.
Yeah, werewolves doing their thing.
Yep. Caleb leaves the Phoenix back to block, presumably the Waif. That'll make Erik use his Ranger on the Phoenix, I'm sure, here. Caleb only sitting with a Mana Leak and a Sulfur Falls.
Serves him for 7. And Caleb is just going to block the Reckless Wave.
Moon Mist.
Wow.
Very
Moon
nice.
Mist. For Caleb was probably not expecting the Moon Mist. They rarely do.
No. And the thing about Moon Mist is they don't expect the first one. They really don't expect the second one. So
there's Divination. Caleb going to try and find something, but 7 more points coming in next turn at Caleb's head.
Yeah.
If Caleb didn't find anything, 3 more mana, another divination. Yeah, so Caleb dropping to 2.
And this is going to be real tough. He 2 spells cast.
Oh,
So
right.
that's key.
Divination. As you can tell, we're both still going to use how these werewolves play out.
Exactly. So now Caleb will drop to 6 here. Unless he leaves that Daybreak
He drew
untapped.
Moonmist, though.
Oh, really?
I think.
It's hard to tell. He's flicking those
I
cards.
think that's a Moonmist.
I think that is a Moonmist and a Mare of Averbrook.
So you can go Mare, attack, Moonmist.
The problem is, though, he cast 2 spells, so they would flip
back
back
over
all
on,
3 of them.
on the next turn.
Right.
So you can get him for 7. I think that's acceptable. Oh no, that's just bad, right?
Looks like he might... Yeah, just attacking for 3. He's going to make Caleb make the first move. Keeping Moonmist as a combat trick, so in case he tries to burn the Daybreak Ranger, he can Moonmist in response.
Yeah, I actually like that.
Yeah, that's probably a better line there.
Moonmist is only combat damage, right? Or is it all damage? I think it's just combat damage.
But it will flip it into a 4/4 though.
Right. Yeah,
but yeah, it probably is all combat.
I mean, it also just makes Caleb things a little safer, and like you said, forces him to play a spell on his turn.
So here's a Ponder.
So he's Shock, and is that Chandra's Phoenix?
I think it is. But he's at 4 life. He doesn't have much room for error here. Has to find pretty much the perfect sequence of spells to stay alive. Keeps those, draws the Phoenix.
Play the Phoenix and block potentially. Block plus burn.
Still probably not going to be enough because of that Moonmist that we know Erik has.
Yeah, pulling out that Moonmist and Construct. That card is a beating and limited.
It is.
Constructed.
Not a card I expected to see this weekend at all.
Moonmist was not on my short list. Is Caleb going to try and attack that Phoenix?
Erik is at 11. That seems like a risky proposition here.
All right. Caleb serves in, drops Erik to 9.
He must have a plan.
Is Caleb going to burn something?
Is it a Vapor Snag in Caleb's hand?
I think he is Vapor Snag.
The problem is Erik's going to attack, and Caleb will have to make the first move. So now he Snapcasters. Flashing back Shock, and there's the Moonmist.
I think Erik could have won last turn, right? Because if he just had Moonmist with the Mare would have pumped all the werewolves.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah, I guess he could have. I forgot about that extra pump on those.
As did I. But it doesn't matter. Erik still takes it down either way. We saw Moonmist throw that game away.
Wow. Caleb does not look happy to be moon-misted out of the game. Not happy at all, shaking his head there.
As a rogue deck builder himself, though, I'm sure Caleb can respect what's going on here. So let's go to the sideboard of these crazy decks. Let's look at Erik Peters first, since he took that game down. What do we think? 2 Beast Within, 4 Prey Upon, 4 Ancient Grudge, 4 Traitor's Blood, 1 Full Moon's Rise.
This is almost like a deck out of Innistrad Limited right here. I fully expect to see that last...
Actually, this deck is Innistrad block constructed, except for 2 Beast Within, 4 Rootbound Crag, and 4 Copperline Gorge.
Oh, that's really
Otherwise,
interesting.
everything else is inside Innistrad block.
Wow.
Anyway, continue, sorry.
Let's see. I definitely expect Caleb to not bring in Ancient Grudge, not bring in Prey Upon. Beast Within, questionable choice, probably not. Since anything you're Beast Withining, probably going to be smaller than a 3/3 anyway. Even Traitorous Blood against this deck, there is not much to steal. Maybe only Full Moon's Rise.
Yeah, you maybe bring that 1 Full Moon's Rise. What do you want to cut? Garruk Relentless, maybe? Or maybe he's going to be okay. He can still make Wolves for you, right?
Yeah, actually, Erik's main deck seems really well set up to fight against Caleb right now. There are almost no changes he needs to make. Maybe Moonmist, actually.
Yeah, maybe you cut 1 Moonmist. Not a lot of combat going on. Full Moon's Rise helps protect your werewolves,
right,
so maybe you just swap one of those out. But I think Erik's probably going to do almost nothing. How about we go over to Caleb? He's certainly going to look into his sideboard.
Yep. Caleb has 2 Manic Vandal, 3 Arc Trail, 3 Flash Freeze, a couple Koth to complement the one in his main deck, some Dismembers, 2 Spellskite, and another Molten Steel Dragon. So what do you expect Caleb to bring in here?
I think 2 Dismember, 3 Arc Trail, 3 Flash Freeze. Probably sounds about right.
Yeah, those are definitely coming in.
And I mean, Koth is nice, but I don't think you really have the room to bring those in.
No, against a deck that's clearly going to be the aggressor, Erik's deck, I don't think Koth is what you really want to be doing here. Molten Steel Dragon also probably better against a slow deck. So probably just those 8. It looks like he'll be taking out definitely the Negate. Probably he'll take out his 1 Koth in the main. And as for the others, probably the Molten Steel Dragon. And then he'll probably just trim something like Divination But there's really not much to take out for Caleb here. He sort of has a tight little package of removal, mana leaks, and some aggressive creatures.
Right. You don't want to cut too much cheap stuff either, because you want to make sure that you can flip those werewolves back over.
Exactly.
In a pinch.
Though Arc Trail is really good against fighting unflipped werewolves. So we'll see if maybe his plan's just going to be to keep them from flipping, though Moon Mist does make that pretty awkward.
Do you think we're going to see him cut Delver Secrets?
We might. The way
or
that
is that just too good?
The way that game played out, Erik had way more threats than Caleb had answers for, so it may just be that Caleb needs to have a beatdown plan, because if Erik keeps one threat alive, it's not gonna be good for Caleb. So we'll see. I have a feeling he's gonna cut spells for spells. I don't think he'll cut creatures for spells here, except maybe that one Molten Steel. But
yeah, maybe the Molten Steel Dragon. I don't know about that one. Yeah, otherwise, I think Erik Peters has the advantage game one. After sideboarding, I think he might still have a slight advantage. But so. Caleb gets a lot of removal.
Yeah. Flash Freeze just as hard counter, just as a straight 1 blue and 1 hard counter in his deck.
Yeah, Caleb can just kill a bunch of stuff.
Gets a 1 mana, no questions asked removal spell and Dismember. Can kill any werewolf in Caleb's deck, flipped or otherwise. Moon Mist can't protect it. So I think this matchup's going to be really close after sideboarding. I think it's just going to come down to a race, pure and simple.
I really like Erik Peters' deck. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a tight little package. There are no cards that really stand out. Brimstone Volley is maybe a little questionable. I'm not sure about that one.
Really? It seems so good. I mean, you have to have some removal spells, right? I think if you're going to pick a removal spell, Brimstone Volley is probably the best one to pick.
It's definitely the highest impact.
What would you have played, like Incinerate or something else?
I was thinking Incinerate just for 1 less mana, but a lot of combat's going to be happening. A lot of creatures are going to be dying, so I'd imagine Brimstone Volley is always full power. Though we will see. No Brimstone Volleys were cast on either side, I don't think, that game.
No, but that's certainly one of the cards to watch.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see if Caleb can finish him off with a Snapcaster Brimstone Volley.
Alex Varno points out on Twitter, seems like Inferno Titan would be in Caleb's deck.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think Inferno Titan, I might like that over the Molten Steel Dragon, for example.
Caleb only has 22 lands to support it, but if it ever comes down, it is a powerful threat. And he has Ponders and Divination to try and dig to more land if he decides that that's his plan. But yeah, Inferno Titan, definitely a really good fit. Let's see.
All right, looks like players have drawn their opening sevens, and we're about to head off to the races.
Yep. Caleb on the play, leads with the Delver.
And Caleb out for the checklist card plan.
Interesting.
Last week we saw Colosso Fuentes in his Legacy top 8, which he also took down with Delver of Secrets.
Yep.
Who just played the checklist card, never pulled out his other card.
Oh, so it flips on the first opportunity. He flips a Dismember.
That's always good. Turn 1, Blue Wild Nacatl the Flies.
Pretty much exactly.
You have 1 less toughness. But.
Not too relevant in this matchup. All right, 2 mana featuring is that a Mare of Averbrook?
Yeah.
I think that's a game day Mare of Averbrook there.
Yeah, pre-release.
Pre-release Mare of Averbrook.
Yeah, and Caleb has to kill that right away. There's no way you can leave that alive. Otherwise, it just creates so much power.
Right. And yeah, instantly Incinerated for Caleb. Not even going to untap. So it draws another Dismember. So Caleb, really stocked up on removal spells right here, is just going to try and protect this Delver, ride it to victory. He has a Snapcaster, a red burn spell of some sort, it looks like. No, it's a Chandra's Phoenix. And Erik, just content to play Croon Outlaw.
And Dismember wipes it away.
Yep.
So we're shooting Caleb with the edge here. You just play a turn 1 Delver.
Yeah.
And then I guess maybe a game plan should go like, cheap guy, burn, trade 1 for 1, and every turn, you're just dealing 3 extra damage with your Delver.
Exactly, especially if you have a mana leak on the crucial turn. But interestingly enough, one card that's very good against fighting Delver is Daybreak Ranger. His unflipped side or his flip side can just take that out.
Yeah.
Just with the tap.
And Daybreak Ranger could be coming down right here. I think we'll see Caleb deal with it probably. Oh, it goes for Instigator Gain.
Yeah, Erik trying to bait things out.
Snapcaster's a Dismember.
Yeah, and this is not looking good for Erik Peters. This is just pure tempo right here.
Now, we've seen Dismember kind of fall out of favor in some decks, but here it is in Caleb's deck doing great work.
Yeah, this is the perfect card for Caleb.
Chandra's Phoenix, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, drop Erik down to 4 life. This game is going to be over in just a second.
Yeah, Erik would have to pull off something pretty incredible here to come back into this.
It looks like Caleb's going to have a turn 5 win.
Wow, that is impressive. Delver of Secrets is proving to be a multi-format all-star here.
nice little innocuous. Yeah, the innocuous common. How about that?
I mean, when I first saw Delver of Secrets, I wrote it off as trash immediately. I didn't even think about it, but 1 mana spells, very powerful. So Erik goes back to his sideboard here.
Wow, yeah, Delver of Secrets. I mean, good enough to win a Legacy Open.
Right.
I mean, that is insane to me. I mean, yeah. Speaking of, Legacy looks really interesting now. You'll see a lot of Legacy action tomorrow, but you can go back and watch the archives from last week, and a lot of cool decks are featured. With Mental Mist out of the format, it's just really giving the format some room to grow and try out some new things.
It does. I mean, right now you're seeing a lot of interesting 3-color decks. Sort of just look like mishmash decks, all the best cards, but I think that's just a result of the format not being fully explored. I think as we move towards maturity, you're going to see a lot more streamlined decks, a lot more focused game plan decks. So it'll be interesting to see what we have tomorrow. I expect to see a lot of Colossal Fuentes deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's appealing to a lot of players. A lot of Legacy players love their counterbalances.
Right.
And they're like, well, I finally have this opportunity to play counterbalance. Let's go for it.
I think being in the Midwest here, we're definitely going to see a lot of mid-range. Actually, we were just talking about this earlier, me and Gavin, yesterday, that each part of the country has its own interesting metagame for Legacy. You want to talk about the Midwest a little bit?
Definitely. So what I found is by flying around to a lot of these Star City events, Standard is constantly in flux. People have all the cards. They can change their decks on a whim. They look at last week's results. They change it up. With Legacy, though, it really just depends where you go to, because people have been playing the format forever. They just kind of play whatever they want to play. So you go to, for example, in Texas, there's usually a lot of dredge and a lot of dredge hate. You go to Indianapolis, there's very little dredge and very little dredge hate. In California, people love their combo decks. In the Midwest, traditionally, what I've seen is a lot of mid-range strategies, like it's mid-rangey, some control, light control stuff. So I imagine we'll see some of that tomorrow. Of course, there's always the grinders everywhere. There's always people playing other decks. But when you have to prepare for a metagame, that's something you have to take into account.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot of Knights of the Reliquary tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll see a lot of things like that.
Hamded Turok.
Jace the Mind Sculptor. Big haymakers.
Of course, with counterbalance around, who knows? I mean, that really changes things up. You have to kind of find other ways to get around that. One player earlier was talking about Wispmare as a potential way to deal with it. You go, threes are harder for them to deal with sometimes.
Yeah, classically, they usually just have a couple Vendilion clicks, maybe like an Oblivion Ring, but not much. Not much to counter a 3-drop.
Which is weird. One of the best ways to beat counterbalance decks is just to play expensive cards.
Yeah, exactly.
I played a blue-white deck once in Legacy that had Eternal Dragon. And it's like, can't beat Eternal Dragon.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck flipping a 7, sir. It's not going to happen.
You're playing Commandeer?
It's about the only one you could reasonably play.
I mean, they also have 5s or Force, I guess.
Yep. They have forces, but 4 is a tough spot. 4 is usually only Jace the Mind Sculptor, maybe a Moat or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But 5's a problem spot. 6, almost nothing at 6, but 2, 1, and 5, you generally want to avoid against counterbalance. So, do you think we're going to see a lot more of the Enlightened Tutor version of the counterbalance decks in coming weeks? Or?
Well, I think players like playing those kinds of decks, so we will definitely see some. It's the kind of thing where, so Legacy does have a very large regional metagame, but also it's the kind of thing where someone's like, well, I used to like this deck, it did well this week, let's pull it out of my shoebox and play it again.
Right.
So you're like, well, Counterbalance is doing again, let's play Enlightened Tutor. Try some of that. I don't think it'll be a huge metagame for us, but I think players who are good like to play that kind of deck. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see, for example, I know Caleb has played, or not Caleb, Adam Barnell has played this deck before, so I could see him pulling it out in some of the East Coast Opens. And I could definitely see it coming out of the woodwork. But in the meantime, we got, of course, 6 more rounds of standard action coming for you.
Yep.
So
the players have drawn their opening hand, about to start here, deciding mulligans. It looks like Erik's going into the tank on this one, but he is keeping, as does Caleb.
And turn 1, Reckless Wave, see if that gets the flip.
That is the start that Erik probably needs against Caleb, a little faster.
There's a 1-drop Ponder. Unfortunately, Caleb had that. Of course, if Legacy isn't your thing, too, I just want to mention there's also the draft opens always on Sunday, too.
Oh, yeah, 2 of them. Each one is 6 rounds, and cuts to the top 8 where you do a second draft. And those are fun.
Yep. Time drafts, stamped cards.
$2,000 prize pool in that mix.
Queue for the Invitational, all kinds of great stuff. So Caleb leaves the cards on top of this Ponder, draws 1, ships back to Erik Peters.
And I see a Daybreak. I see a Mare in there. But he
Serves with Reckless Wave.
attacks for 1, says
Oh,
go.
no,
Wow.
for Erik. That's not good. No second land.
Wow, interesting that he kept a 1-lander on the play. Only has one spell.
I mean, what if his Reckless Wave just got killed on turn 1 by Caleb?
Right.
I mean,
It's a risky keep for Erik.
on
but
the play, wow.
we'll see if he can peel another land here. It'll probably have to be soon, or else Caleb will probably just take control of this game. And an Arc Trail for Caleb takes out the waif and pings Erik for 1 on the way out. And there is a land.
There is a land for Erik. Okay, so he can get down to Mayor of Overbook here.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be his play.
I think Erik's hand is like 2 Mares, a Gas Staff Shepherd, which he just cast, a Full Moon's Rise.
Daybreak Ranger, I see him there.
Daybreak Ranger. I don't know if I would have kept the hand if I was Erik.
No, I think you have to go to 6, especially with the deck as consistent as Erik's. Every game's going to look the same.
And as consistent as Caleb's. You don't
Right.
want to lose that race. You just stumble for a turn or two and you're going to get tempoed out.
Exactly.
You don't want to be man screwed against a tempo deck. So Caleb Snapcaster's a Ponder, so he's Incinerate, Shock, and I think another Snapcast?
I think so too, and I'm sure he'll keep those.
Yep, keep Cole on top again.
Draws a burn spell and just says go, of course.
Yeah, it's really hard for Erik's Werewolves to flip against Caleb's cantrip burn heavy deck.
So there's a Mare, and Erik serves for 3, bringing Caleb to 16.
Yep. Mayor pumps up that Gas Staff Shepherd.
Right. It'll pump humans when it's flipped and pump werewolves when it's not flipped.
Yep. Worth noting that all the humans are also werewolves while they're unflipped.
Right.
So if you have a flipped Mayor and you play another unflipped werewolf, it will get +2/+2.
It will. So Caleb not stumbling on land. He has all the land he needs, and it looks like all the burn he needs too.
Oh yeah,
Arc Trail. That is.
Those creatures are not long for the world.
That's ugly.
Snapcaster and Arc Trail kill both your creatures.
Wow.
Bastion for 2. It drops Erik to 17.
And all of a sudden, Caleb has 4 power on the board too in a deck that his life total is very relevant. So Erik's going to need to do something quick here. Probably see a Daybreak Ranger. Yep.
There's the Daybreak Ranger, but a simple shock from Caleb should eliminate that problem.
Yeah.
And then 4 more damage. Once again, just playing the tempo game. Erik plays a card every turn, fine. I will spend 1 card to deal with your 1 card and attack you for 4.
Yeah,
and for 1 mana.
Yeah. Oh wow, his hand almost has enough just to
how
kill
much burn is
Erik.
that?
Wow.
2, 4, 7. I think that 9 points of burn and spends 2 of it to kill off the Daybreak Ranger.
I see 7. Oh, that's a Erik.
Brimstone Volley to the Nug.
I'm pretty sure Erik is just dead with the burn in Caleb's hand right now.
Yeah, Erik drops down to 10 life, and Caleb's hand is Arc Trail, Incinerate, so that's 8 points of damage, plus the... Yeah, that's lethal.
That's game right there.
Or he's red mana short, I guess, of doing it this turn. Shows his hand.
And another Incinerate for good measure.
Arc Trail, and that's it. Caleb takes advantage of Erik's mana screwed situation.
He does, so maybe the matchup that we thought was going to be favorable for Erik is really better for Caleb. I mean, Caleb's deck was really showcased in those last 2 games. He really came out of the gates fast.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like Caleb had a pretty good draw in game 2. I mean, flipping Delver on turn 2 is obviously really good. But then game 3, Erik's hand was not impressive.
Exactly. And the thing about Caleb's deck is that he's